Hey, all right, week 2. Hopefully we've kind of got a rhythm for the class. You know where to find everything in Blackboard and all that. If you are still struggling, if you can't find something like the lecture videos or quizzes or anything like that, if you'll let me know, we just want to get all that sorted and you can get comfortable with this class because you don't want to fall behind early on, especially with summer being a kind of a quick semester. All right, so this week we are going to meet in person to do Lab 1, which is on the microscope. So Lab 1, the microscope, it's really just to make sure that you know how to use a microscope. We're going to use microscopes a lot this semester, so we're going to spend a whole day just making sure we know how to use these things. I've seen students get really frustrated when they look in the eyepiece and all they can see is like their eyelashes or something like that. So we'll take some time just to make sure we know how to use these, so that way when we need them later on, we'll all know what to do. All right? Make sure that you have your lab manual. If you haven't got that yet, make sure you have it and bring it with you to class. Like I mentioned on our first day, you're going to be ripping out pages in your lab manual and turning them in to me. So you got to have that so you have something to turn in so that I've got something to grade. So just make sure you have those. That's all we're going to do in person this week. So for your at-home stuff, the lecture material, first off, make sure that you watch the lecture videos for last week. Was Chapter 1 was like the introduction chapter. 15 was the evolution chapter. And then this week we're going to watch lecture videos for chapter 19 and 2. So 19 is on systematics and phylogeny, and I know that sounds awful, but all that means is thinking about how we group together organisms, how we group organisms in similar groups, and how we name them, how we classify them. It actually has a lot to do with the evolution chapter that we talked about last week. Chapter 2 is on chemistry, and don't let that scare you because the chemistry that we're doing, you have to study and you have to prepare for it, but this is pretty basic chemistry. I spent one really long year being a 7th and 8th grade science teacher, and the chemistry that we're covering in this chapter is like at that level. So it's not like we're not balancing equations or anything like that, but it's just kind of the basic chemistry stuff that you're going to need to know later on when we talk about some of the cell stuff in biology. So watch those 2 lecture videos, and you have your chapter 19 and 2 review quiz is going to be due Wednesday, which is the day that we have our first exam. So just like the last review quiz, this one's going to be due Wednesday at 8 o'clock, which is when we'll take the test next Wednesday, June 16th. All right? So just a reminder, it says at the bottom for next week, make sure you know that exam 1 is next week. That'll be next Wednesday. We'll meet together and we'll take the test first before we do our lab that week. And then just make sure you do any of last week's assignments. You can find all of those in the My Tasks section on the homepage. So things like the syllabus quiz and the diversity project, if you haven't done those already, make sure you do them because they are also due this Sunday, which is the 13th. So make sure you have those done. All right? If you need anything, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.